Hey, Stux here. Today I'm going to answer some of the questions that you guys posted in my hashtag AskStuxAnything channel over in my Discord. If you want to ask your own questions, you can join the Discord. For that, simply click on the link down in the description. And if you're interested in talking to me privately, you can go over to my website, iostux.com. Now, the first question that I want to go over is by Frosida, and he asked, I've recently started coaching. What are your biggest advices? I believe I'm qualified enough to coach, but I'm very scared of letting people down since they are paying me for this service. Now, the first thing that I want to get out of the way is that if you aren't confident in your ability to coach, you shouldn't charge for it. If you're at this point right now, make sure that you coach some people for free and become confident in your own ability first. And once you're confident that you can actually help those people out, then you can start charging people. The first piece of advice that I can give you is to start with a structure. The way that I structure my sessions is that I always start with an introduction where I just go over some basic stuff with the player. Next, I go over a general assessment where I go over some macro decisions like their hero pool, their schedule, kind of the bigger picture stuff. And then after that, I go into the VOD and I actually point out specific things that they can work on. You also need to make sure that you go above and beyond with the players that you work with. It is not just good enough to go and do a quick little VOD review with them if they still have questions afterwards. If they reach out to you after the session and they have any questions and they want you to help them, or maybe they record a little clip and they weren't sure what they were supposed to do, don't be a dick. Make sure that you look at their message, that you try your best to help them. Next, it's also very important that you realize the difference between what they want to hear, what they don't want to hear, and what they need to hear. Now, what a lot of players want to hear is very complex, very in-depth advice that quite frankly just overcomplicates a lot of things. A lot of players think that if they go into a session and they are given basic, simple advice, that they didn't get their money's worth. They want some highly complex numerical analysis of their play or some very niche, in-depth advice that they can't just get off of the internet in order to feel like they actually get their money's worth. Now, this is a big mistake for a lot of aspiring coaches, and it's that they don't take into account what the players don't want to hear. The players who get coaching from you don't want to hear a large amount of praise. They don't want you to sugarcoat. They don't want you to tell them that they're great and that their teammates are holding them back. They actually want to get better, right? They're already at a point where they are seeking external coaching by another person. So you don't need to tell them that they are great because quite frankly, that's really not what they paid you for. Now, what they do need to hear are their biggest issues in a very simple and very practical and easily applicable way, right? You can't be scared of taking the big issues that they have and simplifying that into a simple overarching point, a few simple habits that they need to fix that are going to have large rippling effects on how they perform overall. I guess the mantra that I personally follow is that players who get what they want to hear get you good reviews. But players who get what they need to hear actually improve after your session. And those are the customers that get you follow-up sessions, right? So you actually have repeat customers. And those are players that also refer you to their friends. So you can start building connections and really build a network of players that are interested in the kind of coaching that you do. Now, the next question is by Tarif15, and he asks, if my dream is to become a professional Overwatch player, should I look for a team to play with right now while I'm in Diamond, or just polish my skills till I reach a higher rank and then dedicate myself to an actual team? Now, Diamond is a rating where you can actually start to actively look for a team to play with, as long as you make sure that the team has the same goals as you and the same level of dedication. Now, teams below Diamond are generally not really that interesting for aspiring professional players, mainly because they aren't well structured, and it is very, very difficult to find teams at lower ratings that are like-minded. Most of the people who play at that level are really just looking for an alternative for queuing ranked, right? They aren't actually interested in going pro themselves. Of course, they also dream of doing it, but they rarely have the actual dedication and time put into the game in order to turn that dream into a reality. Also make sure that you're not joining a team for the sake of joining a team. If you join a team because it's the first team that you came around, or because you just want to play with the team real quick, you don't really want to spend time looking around, you might end up with a team that has players that you can't really get along with, or where later down the line you realize that they don't take the game as serious, right? What happens if you want to watch the Overwatch League with them to see what kind of strategies they employ, but none of your teammates are actually interested and they just want to play whatever works best, or they want to play whatever they enjoy the most. Now, as a follow-up to that, Gabriel Vis8 asked what to look for when searching for a dedicated team that will push your esports career. Now, the most important thing, especially at the lower levels, is to try and find a good team, find a team that has very solid management. When you start out on your esports journey and you're kind of relaxing, at a below tier 3 level, you're essentially in tier 4 or tier 5, it's going to be very difficult to find coaches that actually are capable of helping you, because there is a relatively high demand for coaches at tier 3 and above. So if someone in tier 4 or tier 5 is actually good at coaching, they're going to go up to that tier. But what there are at these lower tiers are very, very good managers, like people who take their job very seriously, that are very dedicated about what they do, very passionate, and they can actually provide you with a very solid structure and a very solid organization that can help you improve. If, for example, you trial for a team and you feel like they are constantly canceling, maybe the team has a bad reputation for double booking blocks, maybe they have a very unstable roster with a lot of player turnaround, in that case, you want to try and stay away from that sort of team and try to find a team that is a little bit more stable, even if the players you're playing with are potentially a little bit worse. You also need to make sure that you look at the overall team atmosphere, right? Try to get into the trial block if you get one and look at how the team reacts to losses. If you have a team that goes silent after losses, if you have a team that can't really have fun with each other, if you have a team that doesn't take bad performances well, or worst case even blames each other, then that is a team that you want to stay far away of. What you're looking for is a team where the players after a loss come together and they really discuss, hey, that felt a little bit odd, can I maybe try this character? Do we maybe want to go to this side? Do we want to try a different game plan? Now, the most important piece of advice that I can give, and this is not advice for tier 4 or tier 5 players, this is advice for any player on the path to pro all the way up into contenders. A tryout process is not just the team trialing you, it's also you trialing the team. So if you go into a tryout and you feel like the team atmosphere is something that you don't really like, if you feel like the team isn't professional enough, if the team isn't dedicated enough, it is completely fine to afterwards tell them, hey, I'm sorry, I am no longer interested after trialing with you. No hard feelings, that is completely fine, but whatever you do, if they extend you an offer, you don't have to accept. The point behind tryouts isn't just to prove that you have what it takes, but also that the team that you're trialing for can offer you what you want to get out of a team. Alright, that does it for this video. Make sure to check the description for ways to join my Discord, check out the private coaching, and follow me on Twitter. I'd also really appreciate it if you could go down and subscribe and also hit the little bell icon for notifications. My name is Stux, and I'd like to thank you for learning.